Hey everybody, Dave. We've got a comprehensive, and I mean comprehensive, update on the Mounjaro coupon today. But before we get started, I want you to know, not only is this going to be our most comprehensive and easy to follow update on the Mounjaro coupon, but we have some really exciting things coming up for those of you who end up finding yourself off Mounjaro because of these changes. So before we get started, hit that like, hit that bell, and hit that sub below to make sure that you get all the updates for all these videos. As you know, with these coupons, things are changing constantly, and you want to make sure that you get these updates. But we're going to jump right into it. If you've followed the other updates that I've done in the last couple of weeks, you know that basically the coupon cards have been put into 3 different tiers of cards. So we got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. We're just going to briefly go over tier 1 and tier 2, and then we're going to focus on tier 3, the ones that have been given after the year, because we've got the biggest update on those ones. So tier 1 coupons were issued prior to November 10th. So if you got your coupon card prior to November 10th, then you are in tier 1, right? It did not require a type 2 diagnosis code for pharmacies to be reimbursed. That's why if you have the tier 1 card, you may notice that you don't have diabetes, but you were able to get it with no issue. Now, some of you may be like, well, I have the tier 1 card, but they're not offering it anymore. Well, that's because a lot of pharmacies have gotten confused between the different types of cards there are and have just decided not to take them. So perhaps move that coupon to another pharmacy. That's my best advice to you. They did require some level of non-government funded prescription drug coverage to fill for the $25. They were good for 12 fills or until 6/30 or 12/31 of 2023, and that was depending on when it was issued to you. It was subject to a $250 monthly cap and a $3,000 annual cap, and it's been grandfathered in to subsequent changes. So if you are wondering why I know that, it's because I have a physical card from Mounjaro, and it says all the terms on the back. This is one of those first cards that they issued, right? So let's jump into tier 2. Tier 2 were issued between 11/10 and 12/31 of 22. Those did require a type 2 diagnosis code for pharmacies to be reimbursed. So you might say, well, I have a tier 2 card, but I was getting it for $25 and I don't have diabetes. Well, it's very likely that your pharmacy wasn't getting reimbursed. And because they weren't getting reimbursed, that's probably why they went back and weren't honoring the first card, because of the confusion. They did require, or do, if you still have it, some level of non-government funded prescription drug coverage to receive the medication for the $25 a month. It covered $25. That's, again, $25 up to everything but $25 of the total copay. Those with no prescription benefit for Mounjaro, again, you have the insurance, but it doesn't cover Mounjaro, they were able and still are to receive $500 off the retail cost of the fill. And on the last slide, we'll get into what the retail cost of the fill is. Grandfathered into subsequent changes if you have this card. And I don't have great info on the actual expiration or the max benefit caps, because that information has been removed from the web, but presumably it follows the first card because of the $500 off. You're going to get 6 fills with it typically at a max benefit of $3,000. So I don't think that they probably upped the benefit on that. So my assumption is that they stayed with the $3,000 a year on that one. So that's the card with the most ambiguity. We're going to get into tier 3. Tier 3 are the cards that were issued after 1/1 of 2023. So after the first of the year, they also require a type 2 diagnosis for pharmacies to be reimbursed. And notice how I'm wording that, for pharmacies to be reimbursed. That's not saying that you can't still get it with a type 2 diagnosis without a type 2 diagnosis code. It means that your pharmacy is not going to be reimbursed for that, likely. So obviously there's a moral conundrum there if you're trying to fill it and you don't have type 2 diabetes, because they're saying right on the Lilly website, I'll be linking in the description, on the Mounjaro website, it says it requires a FDA approved label use to reimburse the pharmacies. They do require some level of non-government funded prescription drug coverage to receive the medicine for $25. It will only cover up to $150 of your copay. So if you've got a copay of $250, just do the math. You know, you're going to be covering $100. So you're not going to get it for 25, but they're going to cover $150 of your copay. I'm not sure if I just did the math right there or not, but you get the idea. Good for 15 fills. So again, this is right off the website, lifted right off the website this morning. It's good for 15 fills or until 12/31/23. Again, capped at a $3,000 maximum benefit. So if you're using the full 500 off the retail cost, you're going to burn that up within 6 fills. The prescription drug covered users pay only $25 of the total copay. Those with no prescription benefit, so you have prescription drug coverage, but it doesn't cover, that's where you're eligible for the 500 off retail. And that's where the list price, again, got this list price right off the Lilly website this morning. The list price of Mounjaro is $1,023. So you take 500 off of that and you're left with $523.04 for your fill. And these are grandfathered into subsequent changes as well. So that is the update. That's the update on the coupons. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Hopefully that's a helpful update. Hopefully those slides make it a little bit easier to follow. You can go back and pause it on your specific card. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. We are going to have on Friday Night Live, this is really exciting for me. On Friday Night Live, we're going to have Jenny Hahn and Angie Vogel, who are going to come on the stream, and they're going to answer all of your questions. If you're getting moved off Mounjaro and you're using it for weight loss, they're going to talk about what's available out there that are like Mounjaro. They're going to talk about compounded medications that you can get, and these are all things that they offer and can connect you with. So you're not going to want to miss that Friday Night Live. Make sure you tune in, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub button to make sure that you get all the updates for these videos. And we're going to see you on the next stream. Really appreciate you watching today, and have a great and wonderful Thursday. We appreciate you.